Hello, everyone. You are very welcome to Mr. English Podcast. I'm really happy that you're spending this time with us. This podcast is not about perfect English. It's about real conversations, real ideas, and learning in a natural and relaxed way. Today's topic is something we all love, something we do almost every week, sometimes every day: movies. But today, we won't talk about movies in a shallow way. We want to talk about movies with meaning. And for that, I'm joined by a close friend, someone who doesn't just watch movies, but thinks about them. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here, honestly. I like this podcast because it feels like a real conversation, not an interview, not a classroom, just two friends talking. And movies. Movies are something I truly care about.
I'm really glad you said that, two friends talking. That's exactly the feeling we want. So let's start gently. When people hear the question, "What is your favorite movie?" they often answer very fast, but I want to slow it down. Why do you even like movies? What do movies give you that other things don't?
That's a deep question. For me, movies are a safe way to experience life. Through movies, I can feel emotions I haven't lived yet. I can understand people I've never met. I can visit places I may never go to. Movies help me understand myself better.
I really like how you said a safe way to experience life. That's powerful. So in a way, movies allow us to grow emotionally without being hurt in real life. But here's something important. Many people say movies are a waste of time. What do you think about that?
I think they are half right. Movies can be a waste of time if we watch them without awareness, but books can also be a waste of time if you read without thinking. The problem is not the movie. The problem is how we use it.
That's such an important distinction. So it's not movies versus learning, it's mindless watching versus mindful watching. Let's go deeper into that. What makes a movie meaningful?
A meaningful movie usually has at least one of these: a strong message, a real human struggle, emotional honesty, a lesson about life. It doesn't need to be famous. It doesn't need to be expensive. It just needs to make you think after the screen goes black.
I love that line, "after the screen goes black," because that's when the real work starts. A lot of people finish a movie and immediately open another app. No thinking, no reflection. So let me ask you, why do people watch movies without thinking?
Because life is stressful, people want to escape. And that's okay, sometimes. But if escape becomes a habit, we stop growing. Movies should relax us, not replace our thinking.
That's very honest, and I appreciate you didn't judge anyone. So movies can be rest, learning, inspiration, but only if we choose them consciously. And that brings us naturally to the next big question: choosing the right movie. I think this is a perfect place to pause this part and continue from here. So we reached an important point. You said something very clear earlier. The problem is not the movie, it's how we use it. That naturally brings us to the next question. How should we choose a movie? Because today we don't choose from 5 movies, we choose from thousands.
Exactly. And that's why many people feel confused. They scroll for 30 minutes, feel tired, then choose something random. Choosing a movie should be simple but intentional.
I really like that word, intentional. So let's slow this down and make it practical. If someone asks you, "What should I think about before choosing a movie?" what would you tell them first?
The first question should always be, what do I need right now? Not what is popular, what is trending, but do I need motivation? Do I need rest? Do I want to learn? Do I want to feel hope? Your need comes first.
That's such an important shift from outside noise to inside awareness. So if someone is tired or sad, watching a very heavy movie might not be the best choice.
Exactly. A sad person watching a hopeless movie will feel worse, but the same movie for a stable person can be a deep lesson. Context matters.
I love that you said context matters. Movies don't exist alone, they meet us where we are. Now let's talk about genres. Many people say, I don't know what type of movies I like. How can someone understand genres better?
Genres are just emotional experiences. For example, drama, understanding life, comedy, releasing stress, documentary, learning reality, biography, inspiration, animation, simplicity, and values. You don't need to know the label, you just need to notice how you feel.
So instead of saying, I like drama, we can say, I like movies that make me think. That sounds more personal.
Exactly. Genres are tools, not identities.
Now, something very practical. Ratings and reviews. Some people trust them blindly. Others ignore them completely. What's a healthy way?
Use reviews like a map, not like a decision maker. Check, is the movie meaningful? Is it suitable for my age? But don't let numbers think for you.
That's such a balanced approach. Another question people ask a lot. Should we choose movies alone or let others choose for us?
In the beginning, recommendations help, but over time, you should trust your own taste. Your emotional reaction is more important than someone else's opinion.
I really like that. Trusting your emotional reaction. So choosing a movie is actually a small act of self-knowledge.
Yes, every good movie choice teaches you something about yourself.
That's deep. Now, let me connect this to the bigger picture. If we choose movies consciously, they don't just entertain us, they shape our thinking. And that leads us to the next natural topic, how we watch movies, not just what we watch. Because the same movie can give two very different experiences depending on how we watch it. I think this is a good place to move forward. So, we've talked about why movies matter and how to choose the right one. Now comes a very interesting part, because even the best movie can lose its value if we watch it in the wrong way. So let's talk about how we watch movies.
Yes, this part is often ignored. People think watching a movie is passive. They think I just sit and watch. But the truth is, watching is an active experience.
I like that, active experience. So let's break it down. First problem, phones. Almost everyone watches movies with a phone in hand. What does that do to the experience?
It breaks attention. Movies are built on emotions, and emotions need time and focus. When you check your phone, you leave the story emotionally. You don't return fully.
That's so true. It's like entering a conversation and leaving every 2 minutes. So the first rule is clear. Respect the movie. Now let's talk about place. Home versus cinema. You touched on this earlier, but let's go deeper. When is home better?
Home is better when the movie is deep, the dialogue is important, you want to pause and think, you want comfort. Home gives control.
Control, that's the key word. And cinema.
Cinema is about immersion. Big screen, loud sound, shared emotion. It's perfect for visual stories, not always for learning.
That distinction is very helpful. Now something very human. Alone or with others. Some people feel lonely watching alone. Others feel distracted watching with people. What's your view?
Watching alone builds reflection. Watching with others builds connection. Neither is better, they serve different needs.
I really like how you keep balance. Let's make it even more practical. Food and atmosphere. It sounds small, but it matters. What should people eat or do to enjoy a movie more?
Keep it light. Heavy food makes you sleepy. Too much sugar breaks focus. Also, dim the lights. Sit comfortably. Choose the right time. Create a small ritual.
A ritual. I love that idea. So watching a movie becomes something special, not just noise in the background. Now let's talk about behavior during the movie. Some people talk a lot. Some ask many questions. Is that bad?
It depends. For learning movies, silence is respect. For family or fun movies, short reactions are okay. The key is awareness.
Awareness, again, it keeps coming back. Now I want to connect this to learning English because many of our listeners watch movies for that reason. How can movies help language learning?
Movies are powerful for language when used correctly. Listen more than read subtitles. Notice common phrases. Repeat sentences. Don't pause too much. Enjoy first. Analyze later.
That's excellent advice. Enjoyment first, learning follows naturally. Now, before we move on, let me summarize what you said so listeners really feel it. Choose the right place, be present, respect the story, match the movie to the moment. Did I capture it well?
Perfectly. That's exactly the idea.
Great. So now we know why movies matter, how to choose them, and how to watch them. The next natural step is who should watch what, because not every movie is good for every age or life stage. So now we come to a very sensitive and important topic, because movies don't affect everyone in the same way. Age, experience, and emotional maturity change how we receive a story. So let's talk about who should watch what.
Yes, this is extremely important. A movie is like a message. If the message reaches someone before they are ready, it can confuse them.
That's such a clear way to say it. So let's start from the beginning. Children and movies. Many parents think all cartoons are safe. Is that true?
Not always. Children absorb ideas very quickly. They don't question what they see. So children's movies should have simple stories, clear values, kind characters, and hopeful endings. Violence, fear, and sarcasm can stay in a child's mind.
I'm really glad you said that. They don't question what they see. That's something many adults forget. So parents should watch with children, not just let the screen teach them.
Exactly. Watching together creates conversation. A movie becomes a lesson, not a distraction.
Now, let's move to a very big group, young people and movies. Teenagers and young adults watch more movies than any other group. What should they be careful about?
Young people are building identity. Movies strongly influence that. They should avoid movies that glorify violence, normalize hopelessness, and promote empty lifestyles. Instead, they should choose movies about growth, purpose, struggle, and success.
That's very powerful advice, especially today when many movies make pain look cool. So for young people, movies should guide, not confuse.
Yes, entertainment without direction can slowly damage motivation.
Now, let's talk about adults. Some people think, I'm old enough, I can watch anything. Is that true?
Adults have more freedom, but also more responsibility. Adults should ask, does this movie add value? Does it reflect real life? Does it help me grow? Not every adult movie is mature. Some are just loud.
That's such an honest point. Loud doesn't mean deep. So maturity in movies is not about age rating, it's about meaning.
Exactly. Adults can benefit most from movies about relationships, society, psychology, history. Movies that connect personal life to bigger ideas.
I really like how you explained that. Now I want to touch on something emotional. Emotional state and movies. Even adults have weak days, sad days, confusing days. Should we always watch serious movies?
No. Sometimes we need light movies. Sometimes laughter is healing. The key is honesty with yourself. Ask, what will help me today?
That's such a gentle approach. No pressure, no judgment. So to summarize this part, children need protection, young people need guidance, adults need intention. Movies should serve the stage of life, not fight it.
That's a perfect summary.
Now there's one final and very important area left. We watched the movie, we enjoyed it, maybe we even learned something. But what happens after the movie ends? That's where the real value is created. So the screen goes black, the music ends, the movie is over. But the question is it really over? Because for many people, this is the moment they forget everything.
Yes, and that's where most people lose the value. A movie's real power starts after it ends.
I really love that idea. The real power starts after it ends. So let's slow this moment down. First step, reflection. What should someone think about right after watching a movie?
They should ask simple questions. What emotion stayed with me? Which character felt real? What decision changed the story? What would I do differently? You don't need deep analysis, just honesty.
That's such a good point. Reflection doesn't mean being academic, it means being present. Now let's talk about something social, talking about the movie. Some people say, I don't like discussing movies. Is discussion really necessary?
Not necessary, but very powerful. When you talk about a movie, you see it from another mind. You notice details you missed. You question your own reactions. That's growth.
So even disagreement can be useful.
Exactly. Different opinions mean different experiences.
Now let's connect this to learning again. Writing or noting thoughts. Some people write short notes. Is that helpful?
Very. One sentence is enough. For example, this movie reminded me that patience matters. That single line can stay with you for years.
I really love that. Small action, big impact. Now let's move to a question many listeners ask. How do I find my favorite movie type? People say, I watch many movies, but I don't know my taste. What's your advice?
Your taste is not a label, it's a pattern. Look back and ask, which movies stayed with me? Which movies did I think about later? Which movies changed my mood positively? That's your type.
So it's not about saying I like drama. It's about saying I like movies that make me reflect.
Exactly. Your taste grows with you. It changes as you change.
That's such a comforting idea. No pressure to decide forever. Now, I want to talk about something very important. Movies and time. Some people feel guilty watching movies. They think it's wasted time. What would you tell them?
Time is wasted only when nothing grows. If a movie gives you rest, clarity, or motivation, it's not wasted. But binge watching without awareness slowly empties energy.
That distinction is so healthy, no extremes. So movies can be rest, learning, connection, but only when used wisely.
Yes, movies are tools. We decide how to use them.
Now, I feel we are very close to the heart of this topic. We talked about choosing movies, watching them, reflecting after. There is only one final step left, bringing everything together and leaving listeners with something to carry. We've talked about many things today. Movies, choices, emotions, habits, and growth. And now, before we close, I want to slow everything down for a moment, because this final part is not about movies anymore. It's about life.
Yes, movies are just the door. Life is what's behind it.
That's beautifully said. So let me ask you something very simple but very deep. What do movies teach us about ourselves?
They show us who we are when no one is watching, which characters we admire, which stories move us, which endings we hope for. All of that reflects our inner world.
I really feel that. So when someone says, this is my favorite movie, they are also saying something about their heart.
Exactly. Movies don't just entertain us, they quietly ask questions. What do you value? What scares you? What gives you hope?
That makes movies feel very personal. Now, I want to bring this back to our listeners. Many people listening today are busy, tired, or overwhelmed. They watch movies to escape. Is that wrong?
No, escape is human, but we should always return. A good movie helps you rest, then sends you back to life with a little more clarity.
I really love that idea. Rest, then return. So the goal is not to live in movies, but to use them to understand life better.
Yes, a good movie doesn't replace your life. It prepares you for it.
That sentence alone is something worth remembering. Now, before we say goodbye, I want to ask you one last question. If you could give one simple rule about movies, what would it be?
Watch fewer movies, but watch them better.
That's powerful, simple, clear, and very wise. Dear listeners, if you remember only one thing from today, let it be this. Movies are not just time fillers. They are experiences. They are teachers. They are mirrors. Choose them with care. Watch them with presence and carry their lessons into your life.
Thank you for listening with an open mind, and thank you for giving your time meaning.
And thank you so much for being part of this beautiful conversation. I truly enjoyed every thought you shared. Dear listeners, this was Mr. English Podcast, a place for simple English, deep ideas, and real connection. Until next time, keep learning, keep reflecting, and keep growing. Goodbye, take care, and see you soon.